So, no matter what platform you choose to market your small business on, I guarantee at some point you are going to have to create video content. Maybe it's going to be short form videos for Instagram or TikTok, or maybe it's longer form content, just like this YouTube video that you're watching. Or it can even be course creation, digital product creation. You need to be able to quickly, effectively, and efficiently edit those videos. And let's be honest, video editing can be very, very complicated, and it can sometimes take what feels like forever. So I actually want to give you the exact video editing system that I have created inside of Descript so that I can easily and effectively edit all of the video content that I produce for my business. And in this series, we're going to dive into each part of the video editing system that you need, from organizing your video content, how to streamline your workflow, then how to edit those videos really fast, and learning how to repurpose that video content. And of course, today we have to start with the foundation of content organization. Because I have to be real with you, if your video files are a hot mess, I promise you the rest of this video editing process will also be a hot mess. So let's get in and start setting up the system that's going to save you a ton of time and hopefully alleviate some stress. Okay, so when you first open up Descript, you're going to see something similar to this, like the home screen. And there's a ton of different options in here. But what I recommend to start this organization process is to actually come into your workspaces over here on the left-hand side. You're going to see a private workspace, but the one that I want you to go ahead and set up is one specifically for your brand. So we will click in here. This way, if you decide to share these with other team members, add team members, share them publicly, people will be able to still access these and you can grant certain permissions for them. So the first thing that you're going to notice here is that I have a ton of different folders for all the different aspects in my business. And one thing I want to say about folder organization and naming conventions is to keep them consistent throughout every software that you use. So you're going to see this folder structure in my Notion dashboard. You're going to see it in my Canva workspace, in my Google Drive. Everything looks similar. They have all the same names, all the same structure, so that I know that no matter which program, software, or app that I'm in, including this video editing system, I know where to find specific things. So you're going to see we have, a different folder for operations, my brand assets, content creation. This is the one that we're really going to be diving into in this series, products, services, and I can go in and click in any of these and see a ton of different subfolders for the different products that I have. For the services that I offer, I have content collabs and speaking events. But this mimics the same structure across all of my different tools and apps. And to create a folder structure for yourself, you can follow exactly what I have here on the screen, or you can kind of develop one that makes sense for your business. Yours might look a little bit different. Let's say you have client work, you might have a client work folder, or you might not need to separate operations and brand asset. Just use whatever is best for you. But to create a new folder, you just come over here and click the new folder button. And then my biggest recommendation for you here, you're going to see it in my folder structure, is do 0, the number, period, and then whatever you want to name or label that folder. This way, when you order them chronologically, it's going to give them a nice categorization. And I always recommend having those numbers there just to, again, continue to organize and reiterate this further. Okay, so I want to start diving specifically into the content creation area because this is where we're going to be creating our video editing system. So you can see I actually have some starred folders over here. We're going to go through each of those, but to navigate there, it's all inside of my content creation space and simply right click. Obviously, you would have to hit star folder and they will show up on the left-hand side. These are the ones that I always want quick access to. Don't get me wrong, I think all of these other ones are very, very important, but I don't use them on the daily, whereas with podcasts, social media, and YouTube videos, those I am accessing on the daily. So let's dive into the first one, podcast. So what you're going to see here is that I have a couple of different folders, and then I have designs outside of those folders. And typically my best practice, anything that is not filed away in a folder is something I'm currently working on, whether I'm recording, whether me or my content manager is editing it, or whether we are repurposing it. These podcasts have already been published. I'm currently in the process of pulling clips and repurposing them. Then what you'll see here is this is a very generic project where I have a lot of the different assets for my podcast. But as you can see in each folder, I have them labeled with, you guessed it, numbers so that everything is in numerical order. So that's the 2024 podcast and my 2025 podcast. Obviously, this is a bit newer of a system for me in terms of podcast. Once we get into YouTube, we'll see that I have a lot more there. But what I want to show you is in each of these, I have even more organization. So you can click into a project. And for the audio version of the podcast, you're just going to see all of this broken down. I do like to have what's known as markers to kind of give me chapters or areas in which I know what I'm kind of talking about there. It just helps me create timestamps and repurposing later on, which we'll get into in a later video. But what you can see is there are different things called compositions, and I like to label them as such. So this main composition is the finalized piece of content. This has my intro, my outro. It's been fully edited. This is great for SEO, meaning this is what the podcast title is, and the file will be named that as well. So I always keep that clean, clear, and easy. But then what you're going to see are a couple other compositions, and you can create new compositions, and you can also create folders within a specific project. So for me, I have a video podcast version. I do like to record whenever I'm recording my podcasts, both audio and video, so that I can, of course, repurpose. So I have a video podcast version. I have a trailer, which is basically the video that I go to promote that specific episode. You can call it a trailer, you can call it a promo video, whatever you want. It typically has a call to action to go listen to that podcast episode. And then the last one here, this is actually a repurposed piece of content that I can go and put on social media. And I just labeled it as such, called #strategy. And basically what it is, I removed that clip alone just from this video podcast version, and I will continue to do so for the rest of the podcast episode. Again, I'm currently repurposing this one, so this one's actually going to have a lot more compositions once I'm done with it. So diving into YouTube videos, you can see that the folder structure is similar across these different mediums, if you will, but I have a lot more videos, of course, for YouTube. My podcast is a bit newer, so I have videos dating back to 2022 inside of Descript. So again, same best practice there, that anything I am currently and actively working on lives outside of the folder. Once it is done, once I am completely done with that piece of content, you can click on it and click move, and I will kind of put it in the appropriate year folder. Obviously, things going into 2025 right now. So what you can see here is that this is a video I just posted a couple days ago, and I still want to do a little bit more in terms of repurposing, want to think through a few more things. So I'm still actively working on this. Now, with these ones here, I'm actually currently recording these. So I want to show you a couple of different things. So this video specifically here is one that, again, I just posted, and coming up into the compositions, it's kind of similar to the way that I organize podcast stuff, but you'll notice that things get a little bit more complex. So we have a YouTube folder, an Instagram carousel folder where I drop down and I have different slides of different things I've pulled for Instagram. I have different short form clips. And I also have like a landscape TikTok video version. So again, any type of repurposing that I do, which will be coming up in part 4, and I'm going to walk you through how to actually do this yourself, they all live inside of that one video project so that I can keep things nice and organized. Now, I want to show you in terms of as I am recording, like I'm actively working on this one right here. What you'll notice, I want to show you kind of behind the scenes of like in process. So I have a YouTube composition. This one, again, similar to the podcast, I like to have the full name of the YouTube video for SEO purposes. This is what I'm going to title it. And again, it'll be written into the file. Of course, I'm still recording this. There's no finalized video just yet. But what I'm actually currently doing right now is in my original recording, I have my script. I have different markers for different portions. This is what I've already recorded. And again, you're kind of getting a meta look here. And then the last thing that I do is I record my video thumbnails so that I can do screen grabs for my YouTube video thumbnails. So typically what happens when I'm recording YouTube videos, there's not a ton of file management. I really keep things simple. As you can see in this video, there are a few clips where I'm talking directly to camera and vast majority of it being screen share. But let's take a look at a more complex video edit that I've done. So this one is for a vlog specifically. And basically what you can do is you can have your typical compositions, but if you come into this project tab here, you can also organize the specific files. So again, I take naming conventions very seriously around here. So I have A-roll, meaning kind of talking directly to camera. Then I have B-roll and I have stock media, and I've organized everything into folders so that during the editing process, it was easy for me to find specific clips, and I just have everything super hyper organized. Now, this is a bit crazy, and I don't do this for every single YouTube video, but just know that there's another layer of organization if you need it. So moving into this last folder of organization here, I want to talk to you specifically about social media short form content that I create that is not repurposed from my podcast and is not repurposed from my YouTube video. So If I sit down to record something completely off the cuff or just another content idea that I have for a piece of video content that is not, again, not tied to the YouTube video or not tied to the podcast, that is where this content lives. And again, the folder structure is kind of similar. We have folders for the different years. This is a new system that I started working with towards the end of last year. But you'll notice I have a yearly folder. And then again, you're going to see those naming conventions of 0, 1, dot. And then I have one for each of the different months here. So I don't have a ton of different things in these because typically I'm trying to repurpose content as much as I possibly can. But if I record something separately and for a specific purpose or reason, I like to have different projects for each of those videos. So I simply would come up here and click new project. I then name it with the date and like a general idea of what that video is about. So what you'll see is these are the ones that I'm going to be posting this month. So I have the date and then kind of what they're talking about. And when you click into this, this is one that I have not fully edited yet, but it's very, very simple. I don't go in, I don't have multiple compositions. I literally just have the video itself. And this is where I still am able to keep things organized with my social media content specifically, but I don't need to go so complex like I do for my YouTube videos and for my podcast episodes. And because of this system and the way that Descript works, I have absolutely been loving the quality, loving the efficiency and how quickly I can create things now that I don't use in-app editors like on TikTok or on Instagram, and I don't really use mobile editors at all anymore, like the CapCuts of the world. Unless I am jumping on a very, very specific trend, which is very rare for me, will I ever use those mobile type editors. For me, I am much more efficient. I am a lot quicker when it comes to editing if I am on my desktop. And Descript is a desktop-based video editing app. It sits somewhere in between a CapCut and a Premiere Pro, where CapCut, you're on the go, you're creating quick. It's pretty user-friendly. Premiere Pro takes a lot of effort, energy, and honestly, I've been professionally trained in it, and it's a complex software. Descript sits somewhere in the middle, that it's pretty user-friendly once you learn the quirks and kind of find your way around and get organization locked down, but it allows you to have a little bit more of a streamlined workflow and things like that. And so if you're currently using some type of mobile video editing app, that is totally fine. You don't have to bring all of your social media content into here, but if you are creating that long form content, this system is really going to save you. But again, I've brought my social media editing into Descript as well, just because of this folder structure alone and some of the other tools that we're going to dive into later in this series, because let me tell you what, you don't get this level of organization with a CapCut, and I am a stickler for organization and that being like the foundation for a solid video editing system. So I know that video content organization seems like the least of your problems right now when it comes to video editing. I promise that this is the foundational layer that is going to help you implement this video system moving forward. And even if you start to implement just a few of these tips and not go super type A like I do, I promise you it is going to be the start of allowing you to quickly, efficiently, and effectively edit your video content. Now remember, this was part 1 in a 4-part Descript video editing system series. Try and say that 3 times fast. And next week, I'm going to show you how to start implementing a more efficient workflow using Descript. Now, remember, I do recommend that you have the organization system in place because it is going to be a huge help for next week's video. As always, feel free to leave questions, comments if you have any. And if you're not a Descript user, head to the link in the description below so that you can try Descript for free today. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in part 2.